Police have no clues as to who sprayed dozens of New York commuters with a noxious chemical last night as they waited on a crowded subway platform. The victims suffered watery eyes, nausea, and dizziness. 25 people were treated at the hospital, 12 at the scene, none seriously hurt. Police don't know what the vapor was. They believe the culprit was riding between the cars of a train.
The potentially death-dealing effects of the Chernobyl nuclear disaster could linger for 30 years, that according to an association of British farmers. The Chernobyl plant fire killed 31 people directly, but the radioactive cloud that raced over Europe could cause thousands of cancer deaths. And in northern Britain, landowners there say that sheep still show levels of radioactive cesium 3 times what it is considered to be safe. And the farmers say that government rules restricting movement and the slaughter of animals may have to remain in effect for 30 years. The British Landowners Association is demanding a scientific inquiry to determine the true cost of Chernobyl.
An increase in foreign competition reportedly has prompted the Reagan administration to allow U.S. civilian satellites to start taking pictures from outer space. Constraints had been placed on the private satellites by the Defense Department in the fear that detailed photographs of Earth might reveal military secrets. But today's New York Times says foreign competitors have begun marketing space photographs with far better resolution than those taken by American companies. The new policy is expected to allow the United States to catch up with this competition and produce some sharper images of the Earth for scientists, geographers, and the urban planner.
Many, maybe most legal systems are based on this idea, this belief in human rights. But human rights are just like heaven and like God. It's just a fictional story that we've invented and spread around. It may be a very nice story, it may be a very attractive story, we want to believe it, but it's just a story. It's not a reality. It is not a biological reality. Just as jellyfish and woodpeckers and ostriches have no rights, Homo sapiens have no rights also. Take a human, cut him open, look inside, you find their blood, and you find the heart and lungs and kidneys, but you don't find there any rights. The only place you find rights is in the fictional stories that humans have invented and spread around. And the same thing is also true in the political field. States and nations are also, like human rights, and like God, and like heaven, they too are just stories. A mountain is a reality. You can see it, you can touch it, you can even smell it. But Israel or the United States, they are just stories, very powerful stories, stories we might want to believe very much, but still they are just stories. You can't really see the United States, you cannot touch it, you cannot smell it.
have to say that when I started this job, there were actually very little countries in Africa or Latin America that had one ubiquitous type of ID, and certainly that it was digital, and certainly that it was biometric. And we really work with all our partners to actually help them to grow this. And the interesting part of it is that, yes, it is very necessary for financial services, but not only.
Sure.
It's also good for school enrollment. It's also good for health, who actually got a vaccination or not. It's very good to actually to get your subsidies, from the government. So this has not only effect to the financial services. It's a very important issue.
Cheryl Ashley Knudsen says she can't watch that video. She's only seen it once, and that was enough to relive the horror. Her boyfriend is still bloodied and injured from the group beating they took along the street through downtown Saturday night. This shrieking is the sound of pure panic in this cell phone video shared by CWB. That's Ashley Knudsen at the center of this mob Saturday evening. Visiting Chicago from out of state, Knudsen and her boyfriend were searching for a place to eat when they happened upon a crowd along Wabash Avenue.
Said, DJ, I just got punched, and he turned around and he said, don't put your hands on her, don't push her. And as soon as he said that, everything went crazy. Like, they went crazy. They started jumping us, saying they're gonna kill us.
You can't even see DJ in the video. He's already on the ground.
With the assistance of the outside broadcast unit, we will be linking from the database studio to their home. Pat Green and Julian, welcome to Database.
Hello, Jane.
Hello, Jane.
Now, Julian, I see you have your computer linked to the telephone line. Can you tell us how you did that?
Yes, well, it's very simple, really. The telephone is connected to the telephone network with a British Telecom plug, and I simply remove the telephone jack from the telecom socket and plug it into this box here, the modem. I then take another wire from the modem and plug it in where the telephone was. I can then switch on the modem and we're ready to go.
For the Atlanta Hawks basketball team, slumps in his chair, then starts convulsing while his co-anchor keeps going, unaware of the emergency.
So for them, this is about 1,000 days too late. Now, Nariman, I'm looking at after the day, families are pushing the feds to sorry, Nariman, I'm not feeling very well right now, and I'm about to
Okay, we'll come back to me right now. We'll make sure that, Jessica, you are doing okay.
Reports from our international colleagues, including Israel, suggest increased risk of severe disease amongst those vaccinated early.
Are the unvaccinated a threat to the vaccinated?
No, I wouldn't see it that way. The vaccinated and the unvaccinated can be a source of transmission. And I do think some people overplay that if you're if you've been vaccinated with 2 injections in particular, somehow you're protected against serious illness.
Donald Trump, when he was commander-in-chief, refused to visit a cemetery, U.S. cemetery outside of Paris for fallen American soldiers. And he referred to those heroes, and I quote, as suckers and losers. He actually said that. He said that. How dare he say that? How dare he talk about my son and all of us like that?
I got you on video that you're destroying my car. Thank you.
Get the fuck out of this neighborhood. Fucking shit.
Yep. Cool, lady.
Oh.
I'm calling. Don't worry.
Hi, I'm at 14408. My neighbor has 2 fucking hammers in her goddamn hand and she's assaulting the car.
She's destroying property. Let them know that. And I have her on video.
You got a problem, bitch? Is there a problem, motherfucker? You put your motherfucking shit on me again, bitch. Tell me to go the fuck back somewhere, bitch. Tell me, bitch. So you fucked up your car, bitch. And you think that shit is cute, bitch. But it ain't, Becky. Motherfucking racist, bitch. You racist motherfucker. I'm sick of you, bitch. I'm sick of you, bitch. You understand me, bitch? Do you understand me, bitch?
Yeah, and I just got off the phone. These people don't want to go on camera, but they do confirm what police say. The victim is William J. Edwards III. He works in the music industry, had a recording studio, a small one in Hollywood, and his Instagram says he works with artists like Little Cobain, O.J. Marco, Travis Scott. He was here in the morning in his car with his headphones on. And here's what people say they heard and saw. Watch.
He wasn't moving, and I was just like, what is that?
What she saw on her way to work inside this dark vehicle parked off 29th Street.
I saw a guy dead in his black car.
It was the body of 46-year-old William Edwards III, shot to death shortly after 10 in the morning while sitting in his vehicle on 29th and Ocean Park. Santa Monica police saying they have arrested a suspect, a 27-year-old homeless woman identified as Kayla Denise Mackey.
Everyone was freaking out, basically. Everyone walking past going, damn, not in our beach town. Like, we don't want this happening.
especially with publicity surrounding crimes involving suspects described as homeless. From a Santa Monica council member attacked while walking on the 3rd Street Promenade last July to the arrest in November of 24-year-old Adrian Jose Dugas for allegedly carjacking a group of people on one of the city's parking lots. While the motive for this shooting remains under investigation, the murder of a man sitting in his vehicle around 10 in the morning is troubling even with an arrest.
Been here over a decade.
So you've seen...
Yeah, more and more issues, right? Over in recent times, for sure.
Does it worry you more than it normally would?
Yes, definitely.
How you doing, man?
Oh, what's up, man?
How's it going?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Good. Hey, what's up with all this talk about Beyonce and the Illuminati, and what are those rumors?
Everybody who works hard, looks inside themselves, finds strength, creates something special.
Okay.
The president, Jay-Z, whoever does well.
For sure.
Whoever, realizes their potential. It makes people who don't work or don't have faith or confidence or courage to be good or be great point the finger, and they gotta say, "Oh, you."
Like an easy way out. Like,
yeah,
I didn't make it because I'm not in the Illuminati.
Exactly. Holmes is down with the devil, right? He's so good. Let's move to LA. I'm making all these movies and TV, and in a minute they're gonna say I'm down with the devil again, because I've been right again. Because I get down with the devil every 6 years or so. I do something.
Do you believe in the Illuminati? Do you think
No.
it? Do you think it's? Do you think it exists?
Are you kidding me? I'm a grown man. Of course not. The computer's asking me if I want to log on, and it's now telling me to phone up the main Prestel computer, which I will now do.
So it's a very simple connection to make.
Extremely simple.
And I can actually leave the modem plugged in once it's done that without affecting the telephone. I'm now waiting for the computer to answer me. It answers with a tone, and then I just flick a switch on the modem and replace the receiver. And
things are starting to happen.
Things are starting to happen. The Prestel computer is now asking me to enter my own personal password, which I've now done, and it comes up with an opening screen.
And Julian, can you tell me, what is Micronet?
Well, Micronet basically is an area of Prestel that's specially designed for microcomputer users. It has a lot of facilities. It has a magazine-type page of what's new today, the daily news, reviews of the current software that's available. There's a letters page so people can write in. There are programs available on Micronet that you can load directly down the phone line. Some of them are free, some of them you do have to pay for.
Now, Pat, whose computer is it?
Well, it's a cooperative, really. We all have a part share, but Julian and I mainly use it.
And why did you buy a computer?
Well, I was very interested in the new technology and didn't want to be left behind. I don't think it's only for the youngsters at school now. I think us older ones will have to learn a lot about it.
And what do you use the computer for?
Well, for keeping household records, such as what I have in the freezer and people's telephone numbers and addresses. I use it as a word processor for my letters, which always come out perfect now. And the most exciting thing I find is the mailbox where I write to other people on the Prestel system.
And who have you written to recently? You got any examples?
Yes, I sent a message to my doctor asking for a repeat prescription, and he's left the prescription for me in the chemist.
Right. Well, thank you very much, Pat and Julian. We'll be seeing you later in the programme.
Bye, Jane.
If you have anything you want to say to us here on Database and you're connected to the Prestel service, you can use the Database mailbox. Pat Green is still with us in North London, and she's going to demonstrate this facility by sending us a message. Hello, Pat.
Hello, Jane.
Can you find page 7776, please? And now would you like to send us a message?
Yes, I will.
And I should be able to get the same message now on my screen.
That's right.
Thank you very much for your good wishes, Pat and Julian.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
If I want to get that message printed out, I can do that as well, just by hitting this button. And there it is. And by the way, we've heard some rumours that Commodore are planning to launch their own rival to Micronet, which will come complete with a modem. Now, as we get some more news about CompuNet, we'll let you have it. In the meantime, if you want more information about Prestel or Micronet, then why not have a look at the Database newsletter, which you can find on Oracle, page 182. That's page 182. Now, if you own a BBC Micro, stand by for the software transmission. You can record the data directly from the audio track of your video cassette recording of Database. Alternatively, if your television has an audio jack or an ear socket, you can take the data directly from that. The least successful method is to just place a microphone in front of the television set. Now, if you haven't got a BBC Micro, don't worry, because during the series we'll be transmitting data for the ZX81, the Spectrum, the Commodore 64, the VIC-20 and the Dragon. Now remember, these software transmissions are experimental, but if they're successful and you like them, then they may well become a regular feature of Database later on in the year. Stand by for the software transmission. You better start your recorders now. Goodbye, and see you next week from Earl's Court.
What happened?
I think you're in a liquidation phase. I think Kirsten had it exactly right. I think there's a bunch of wrong-footed moves by Hank Paulson and the Illuminati of the country, if you will, and I think we're paying for it right now.
What should they have done?
Ecocide as a word is becoming better known around the world, and the concept is generally mass damage and destruction of nature. But legally speaking, what our organisation and other collaborators aim to do is to have this recognised legally as a serious crime. Because one of the issues that sort of pervades all of this discussion is that we have a kind of cultural, very ingrained habit of not taking damage to nature as seriously as we take damage to people and property. And that, I mean, if you're campaigning for human rights, at least you know mass murder, torture, all of these things are serious crimes. But there's no equivalent in the environmental space. And so, you know, unlike an international crime like genocide that involves a specific intent, with ecocide, what we see is actually what people are trying to do, what businesses are trying to do, is make money, is farm, is fish, is do all of these things that are producing energy and so on as well. But what's missing is the awareness and the conscience around the side effects, around the collateral damage that happens with that. But legally speaking, what our organisation and other collaborators aim to do is to have this recognised legally as a serious crime.
Más arriba, más arriba, más arriba. Aguanta. Dale. No le metas mucho, chango. Mueve, son 9, chango, no le metas mucho. Ya está. Aquí lo tengo. Aguántame aquí. Toma 9, chango, cuéntale 9. Sí. Tírale a la verga, güey. Lo tengo parqueado. ¡Sobre, chango! ¡Dame! ¡Sobre! Ahí está el otro, dale, tírale. Dale aquí. Chócalo. ¡Mátalos a la verga! ¡Mátalo! ¡Quémalo a la verga, carnal! ¡Quémalo a la verga! ¡Tírale! ¡Perro! ¡Mátalo, puto! ¡Míralo, bastardo este! ¡Ahí está el vato arriba con la ¡ahí están! ¡Tírale, carnal! ¡Tírale la verga! ¡El del mini, tírale! ¡Tírale, carnal! ¡Agua que va a estar el mini!
We've taken several voyages in our time machine tonight to the home of the future, driven by computers and powered by the sun, to the medical world of 2039, a land of artificial organs and genetic engineering. And we've visited a violent reality of computer crime, and constant surveillance. Each of them, and countless others, could become our future. Which one?
That will be decided by how we face the problems we already see reflected in today's headlines. If we are to make our way to the future we want for our children and grandchildren, we must make difficult choices in the years to come and face what experts tell us are the greatest challenges we have ever known.
The environment, devastated by human growth. Tropical rainforests destroyed at the rate of 1 football field per second. Plant and animal species disappearing, perhaps as many as 100 a day. The topsoil from our farmland blowing away, an area twice the size of Maryland, becoming unusable each year.
Humanity as a species is doing something that no wise family would ever do in its own economics. That is, it is burning its capital. In the process of living on capital, we're destroying our sources of income, and in the end, of course, we're destroying ourselves.
Energy. Fossil fuels have already polluted our air and water. And with experts predicting we might run out of oil by 2039, still more problems may be down the road.
If we do nothing and just continue the way we are, using 95% of our energy from fossil fuels, it will create an economic collapse long before 50 years from now.
Population. The numbers are soaring. 250,000 more people on Earth every day. The world population will double by 2039. And right now, 850 million do not have enough to eat.
The question is not whether population growth is going to slow or not. It will. The only question is whether it's going to slow because we systematically move towards smaller families or because we delay and hunger, starvation lead to rising death rates.
Global tensions. Over everything hangs the fear of war. Regional conflicts are increasing, and experts predict by 2039, more than 16 countries will be armed with nuclear weapons.
Now, that makes a much more complicated world, and we run the risk of a nuclear accidental war or unthought-out war occurring in volatile parts of the world, even if there was a build-down between the Soviet and the American armaments.
Are there solutions to all of these problems? Most scientists, politicians, futurists agree. The answer is yes. Some of the solutions are easy to understand.
There's no such thing as garbage. We have to recycle all of that like the Japanese do. I mean, the Japanese, one of the reasons they're so successful is they recycle 50%.
We'll have to start planting trees on a scale that we probably haven't even imagined yet. We're going to have to get serious about soil conservation.
We know what we can do about energy. Going solar solves the pollution problems and the economic problems and the greenhouse problem. We know that. It's all there. It's just a question of working out the pattern when to do what.
Some proposed solutions are bitterly controversial.
Stop sending gifts of food to a starving country. Just grit your teeth and tell them you're on your own and you've got to make your population match the carrying capacity of your land.
But if there is argument over exactly what to do, there is agreement on this. What we decide to do over these next 50 years will be critical to our survival. And somehow, we must find a way to cooperate.
It's almost as if the human family is being nudged along by Mother Nature to grow up. We are all in the same boat now, whether we like it or not. And it's no good playing these games about whose end of the boat is sinking.
The situation is running downhill at a truly frightening pace. On the other hand, our potential for solving the problem is absolutely enormous. So I don't know what's going to happen. I hope we're going to take the optimistic route, and therefore whoever's listening to this tape in 2039 will be able to say, by God, they made the right choices, and we've got to continue down the same route so that our children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren have a decent world to live in.
We started tonight back at the World's Fair in 1939. It was a burst of optimism on the eve of a catastrophe, World War II. One fairgoer wrote, "Sure, there was a lot of hype, we knew that, but we loved it anyway, for its powerful assertion that there could be a future. We needed to believe that, against all evidence to the contrary."
And in the long run, the fear was right. On the other side of the disastrous war, the future turned out to be even more extraordinary than they dreamed. Today, futurists continue to peer into their crystal balls and, despite the dangers they say clearly lay ahead, predict a world full of marvels.
And if all their guesses and all their hopes about what we could be in 2039 seem naive in the face of our problems, there is this fact. Almost no one says such a world is impossible. We can make our way there if we choose our path wisely. I'm Forrest Sawyer.
And I'm Paula Zahn. Good night.
Feel your oats with Post Oat Flakes. Feel your oats with Post Oat Flakes.